Hi guys, welcome to another video on my channel, this time with voiceover, and we're doing the December 2024 setup in my cPTSD journal. December and Christmas is my favorite time of year and my favorite holiday season, so I've been particularly looking forward to this one. We're jumping right in with the calendar. For this, I went through my stash in the true motion of de-stashing, which was my motto this year. And I used scrapbook paper that I unfortunately don't have the name of. It came with a set that had travel as a theme, as you can see by the edges of the paper. But I chose it because it kind of gave me the idea of gingerbread, and I saw that in plenty other journaling videos that people did sort of gingerbread motifs with brown craft paper, and this was the closest I could get to that, and I wanted my calendar to give that kind of motif. I'm using one of my journaling stencils that is thankfully guarded by Sailor Chibi Moon, and my white jelly roll pen in the size 08 to put 31 squares on the paper to represent the 31 days of December. Next, I'm using the same jelly roll pen to embellish some of the squares. As you can see, I'm adding icicles to some of the squares. In some, I'm just putting snow, and some I wanted to look like gingerbread pieces because that's what I remember from the German Christmas markets. And I miss them very dearly living here in the States, so I wanted them in my journal for this year's December. Now I'm adding the weekday names to the squares. I actually made a mistake and thought the week was going to start with Monday, but I just wrote over it with the gel pen and fixed it to look like Sunday. And then I'm using my Micron pen in the size 05 and the color black to add the numbers in the lower right corner of every square to date the days. Now, black is not my favorite choice for this. I think I was inspired by the kind of stamp-like picture in the bottom right corner of the paper, but as you can see, I'm trimming that off now. So I could have used any other color. I could have even used white, or I think in hindsight I would use stickers if I had to redo the calendar and just print out tiny round white stickers with the numbers in them. Now we're going to go ahead and embellish the calendar. First of all, I'm using my Pen & Gear A Year of Planning sticker sheets that have been a loyal companion throughout the entire year. And I really love how bold and bright the colors are for December, even though it kind of clashes with the vintage theme I'm going for. But I just love how that December title looks on top of the calendar. Here I'm using a tape glue roller to attach the calendar sheet to the page. Along with those stickers, I also created my own using Bing, Microsoft's AI image generator. You get 15 credits every day if you make an account, which I do because I'm using Windows, so I have a Microsoft account. And ever since November, where I created AI stickers for myself for the first time, I'm madly in love with creating my own stickers like this. So what I did was I used various prompts about vintage Christmas, Christmas windows, snowy landscapes, starry night, snow, winter landscapes. I rearranged the created images in Procreate to fit on a letter-sized sheet, and then I used Koala glossy transparent sticker paper to print them out with my LaserJet printer. And for the calendar, I chose this very cute window scene with the two bears sitting in it. Usually I'm not a fan of plushies, but there's just something about teddy bears and Christmas that I really adore. I'm using more stickers from the sticker sheets to finish up the calendar. Here I'm using the 3 square stickers because I thought they went well with the squares of the calendar. And as you can see, those sticker sheets are arranged in a way that you can use the stickers in the calendars that you've created. There's a sheet that has laundry symbols and money symbols. Here I'm adding a very cute foiled little envelope with a letter to Santa and a foiled snowflake. I mean, can it get any better than a foiled snowflake? I don't think it can. Now comes my most favorite part of this December setup, which is my Christmas window. Ever since I've seen this paper by Karen Foster Design in my stash, it's called Woodshed, I had the idea of using it for either a fence or the outside of a cabin. And for the December theme, I decided to go with the image of a snowed-in cabin. And here I'm cutting the paper to size of the page. And I'm going to use Elmer's all-purpose spray glue to attach the paper to the page. I'm using spray glue every time I want to do cutouts. And as you can see, the paper immediately clings to the entirety of the page, which is what we want. And then I'm trimming off the rim of the page so that the monthly tab that we're going to create in a little bit here is going to be visible. Now I'm measuring my window and I marked it with pencil on the page. Please use a cutout mat if you follow this tutorial when you cut out the window panes, because you don't want to cut into the page underneath. And I found a neat little trick. If you haven't cut all the way to the edges of the window pane, just turn your blade to the edge and it will actually cut the last of the little paper thread, still connecting it, and you can avoid those white edges that I left in the window panes on the bottom. I went through my washi stash, and it's kind of funny. I picked up a bunch of these washi rolls at a thrift store for $1, and they come in different colors, very basic colors: black, brown, yellow, green, and red. And I never thought I would use them, but for this month's theme, the brown one with sort of the wooden texture that it gives was perfect to create the window. I found a Tombow marker in the same shade as the washi tape, and I'm using it to color in the white lines that remained from the cutouts. This paper is one of my absolute favorite papers. Unfortunately, there is no name on the back, so I can't tell you where I got it from. I know I bought it in a bunch of paper piles at a yard sale. And it's one of those papers that I never really wanted to use, but for this spread, it was simply perfect. I measured the width of the window and hand drew sort of a cloud, very bulbous, to create the image of snow that has been stuck to the front of the window. Then I do the same thing for the top of the window. This time I made sure to include icicles. I made the mistake of removing my cutting mat, and as you can see here, the glue tape on the icicles will stick to the page underneath, so be careful about that. But the good thing about glue tape rollers is that you can just rub your finger over the tape residue and they will get off your page very easily. I'm trimming off the tape margins, and then the front of the window is done. Now we're moving on to the triggers and grounding lists. This list has been a game changer for me and my cPTSD. What I did was I used one of those AI created images of a Christmas tree. I enlarged it in Procreate and mirrored it so that I would have a front and a back for my Christmas room that we're creating right now. And I wanted to use that sort of as a small list where I can add triggers and where I can add the most favorite grounding tools of this month. What I did was I used the Elmer's glue spray again to attach the front of the tree to one page and cut that out with my craft knife. And then I'm gonna use the same spray to attach the back of the tree to the next page. And that way, once I've cut out that with my craft knife, I've created sort of a Dutch door 2-page notebook that will house my triggers and my grounding tools for this month. Originally, I thought I was done with the window, but then I found the package covering that I thought was perfect to use as window glass. So I'm using a Sharpie to mark the dimensions of the window with margin for the glue tape, cutting that out, and then using double-sided crafting tape. I found this set on Amazon that comes in different widths to attach that to the entire window frame, especially the middle, and then making sure that I'm really pressing that acetate sheet down onto the glue tape. And you can already see the effect of the Christmas room behind the window, and I'm loving it. Next, we're going to add wallpaper to our Christmas room, and I chose this red flowery scrapbook paper by Delilah that I found in the Walmart clearance section, and I really, really love those papers. They are just thin enough to work in a journal like this. I mean, I love my journals bulky, but I don't like them too bulky. So this paper was not only perfect from the looks of it, but also from the overall performance in the journal. I'm using the dimensions of the window to mark them on the back of the scrapbook paper, and I left a little margin. And then I'm going to use the same Elmer's glue spray to attach the first part of the wallpaper to the page with the window. Be careful of not gluing your paper too close to the middle, because it could bend over as you close the journal. Always leave a little between the joint of the journal and the paper. Now we're going to use some AI stickers to put into the window. What is great about the Koala sticker paper, the transparent one, is that the stickers, when you print them out, will turn transparent a little bit. So when you turn the page over, you can actually still see the lantern on the other side as well. And then that really makes for a nice effect. You will see me remove these later, but you get the idea of how the Christmas window is supposed to look like. Next, we're going to move on to the main attraction of the Christmas room, which is the ginormous fireplace. Again, I used the AI created sticker images. I enlarged the fireplace that I wanted in Procreate and printed it out, this time on matte sticker paper. And I'm using the rest of the scrapbook paper I used for the wallpaper to finish the second part of the room. And then I'm using leftovers from the wood shed paper to create a floor, using Elmer's glue spray to attach both of them to the page. And then I'm trimming out the fireplace with my craft knife and placing it in a way that it makes it look like it's the centerpiece of our Christmas room. The next thing we're going to add is our Santa Claus that is going to be sitting in a very comfortable chair in front of the fireplace. What I did is I used the Elmer's glue spray to attach Santa Claus to a crafting cardboard paper so he would be a little bit more firm. Then I'm using the Tombow marker to get rid of the white edges from cutting him out. And then I'm using foam stickers to put on the back of Santa Claus so that we have a three-dimensional effect. When you're using foam stickers, make sure you place them especially close to the edges so they get reinforced, and then another one or two in the middle of your object. Now we're placing Santa Claus in front of the fireplace. I wanted him to be a little lower so that he wouldn't cover up too much of the fireplace, but that didn't work with the perspective, with the tree in front of it. So I put him a little higher, and now you can see there's Santa Claus sitting in front of the fireplace, getting warm before he's heading back out into the night, and you can see him through the window. I will probably add more elements to this as I go along the month, depending on whether I've got time for it, but for now, I thought for the tutorial that was enough. I'm using this vintage style washi tape with the deer in sort of a grayish environment for my monthly tab. And this is a small monthly sticker. As you can see, I've been using those throughout the entire year, and they look so nice with the gold foil on them. After adding the washi tape on the back, which is not something you gotta do, but I just prefer it that way, and trimming of the margins of the washi tape, we now have a monthly tab, the last one of this year, and the finish of the third journal of the RETTACY journals I'm using for this. Now we're gonna embellish the triggers and grounding lists. Again, these have been so important to me. I'm just using washi tape to kind of create a background for the title, and then I'm using stickers from the Pen & Gear sticker sheets. And if you guys have any recommendations for pens that write on foiled stickers like this, I only found that Sharpie pens write on it, and the only Sharpie pen that has a fine tip in my collection is the black one. So even though I didn't want to write the titles in black, I kind of had to. But if you have any recommendations for more pens that can write on stickers like that, that would be awesome. Here you see me cutting out more stickers from my sticker sheets to add to the lists of rounding and triggers, and then we're done with those as well. The last two spreads are my Christmas gift idea spreads and budget. And for that, I'm using this gorgeous vintage music sheet paper in pink. And then a paper that has a bunch of letters on it that I thought resembled letters to Santa. And I'm just really using cutouts and scraps to create sort of a little bit of embellishment for the pages. It's not very much. And then I'm going back in with the paper I used for the calendar to tie it all together. And I'm using the same tombow I've been using to add the title, gift ideas. And then I'm using my jelly roll in the size 08 to go over the tombow and give the gingerbread theme again. I'm adding stickers, and I'm sort of repeating the same thing for the budget page. Adding Santa Claus again, and then these spreads are done as well. I'm adding last touches to the spreads I created. Here I'm adding a clock above our Christmas window, and as you can see, I removed the stickers from the window and replaced them with snowflake stickers so it gives the impression of snowing. And then I found, as I was going through my stencils, that I had a lot of Christmas stencils that, you know, you can sometimes pick them up when you buy journals, or these I believe I found at a liquidation store that was selling off Amazon palettes or Amazon return palettes. And I'm using this gorgeous Merry Christmas saying with my jelly roll in the size 08. As you can see, I kind of forgot to fill in the age, but I will do that later. And then I'm using my jelly roll pen to add snow and snowflakes. I'm grabbing some more holiday themed stickers that I had in my stash, and I'm adding some more small gold foiled snowflakes all over it. And then this year's December spread is done. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please leave me a comment if you have questions, or if you want to tell me what you liked, or maybe if you have recommendations on improving. I always look to improve my craft. And if you enjoyed watching Santa Claus getting his own room, then please share the video, like the video, and I hope I'll see you again next year.